So other than the high volatility with the tokens that Ezra was describing before, there are some other types of risks as well. First of all is smart contract risks. So oracles, as Natalie was describing earlier, which interact with outside sources in the block and post the information to the blockchain, they can be wrong. They can be inaccurate. They can have faulty measures. They can have faulty tools, or it's possible for oracles to be attacked because they're because if someone knows what oracle you're using, that's potentially a spot for them to be able to attack you. Luckily, oracle risks are fairly uncommon. However, what's way more common is smart contract risks. Most of the information on DeFi and DAOs and stuff is public source. It's open source. So people can see what kind of smart contracts DAOs would make. And if a smart contract or a protocol is poorly written, it can be vulnerable to just being attacked and having money siphoned from it. This is the most common type of attack for pretty clear reasons, given that they have all the information is public source. And then another issue with smart contracts is that it's a one-way transaction. Because it's decentralized, there is no one you can complain to and no one you can say, hey, this person did me wrong with your transaction, because it's already been posted to the chain and it's already been verified. Additionally, another really common risk in DeFi is something called rug pulls. So a rug pull is when there's a new startup protocol, a new startup token, a new startup whatever, and it drives up a lot of hype, and there's a lot of stuff into it, and then suddenly the devs take all of the cash and run away. This usually happens if they're using a liquidity pool by taking all of the other asset on the other side of it. So this happened with Squid Coin. Squid Coin was a new coin that appeared around October 28th, promising that you would be able to use these coins to play an online version of Squid Game. And this coin went all the way up to over $2,000 per coin within the liquidity pools. And then suddenly the devs took all of the coins that were on the other side of the liquidity pool, and the coin crashed to nothing, and the devs just disappeared into the night. And everyone just lost almost all of their money. Another potential issue is regulation. So currently crypto is highly unregulated. It's mostly untaxed. There's not much there. But this means that if a rug pull happens, or if you're a victim of fraud, that there's not really anything you can do. You have to be extremely safe with how you act around cryptocurrency and act in DeFi space in general. On the other hand, there's the potential for overregulation. For example, China has banned cryptocurrency entirely. They banned mining it, they banned using it, they just entirely banned cryptocurrency. The United Kingdom has banned Binance, which is one of the world's biggest cryptocurrency exchanges. Think like, I believe like Coinbase. I mean, in the US, there's no consensus on what crypto is. They don't know if it's a commodity, a security, a property, like other forms of investment. So if regulators decide it's one or more of these things, you could potentially be overtaxed in an unjust or unfair way, which is an issue. Additionally, with governments, there's a large concern about illegal activities and money laundering with cryptocurrency. So you can see why they would be kind of zealous in overregulating it. And of course, as most of the risks ultimately come down to, is just you have to be safe with your cryptocurrency. For example, the first example is this guy, Calvin Beckera. He had over $700,000 worth of NFTs in his account, and he was trying to sell some of them. And unfortunately for him, he thought there was an issue with his wallet, and there wasn't. And the people he was trying to sell it to got access to his wallet and wiped him clean of all of them, all of his NFTs, over $500,000. In Japan last year, they lost over $100 million when hackers got their wallet info and were able to make transactions with it. Polychain got hacked for $600 million of cryptocurrencies. Ultimately, half of it was returned because exchanges wouldn't take transactions from the wallets that were associated with this fraud. But that's still almost $300 million that was just never recovered. Anubis DAO performed a rug pull, much like Squid Game. And in fact, of these examples that I've given you, Squid Game, this Calvin Becker dude, and Anubis DAO all happened within the last week. So you just have to be extremely careful and extremely, you have to be extremely careful, extremely knowledgeable about what you're investing in. And you can't just throw money into the wind, and you have to be sure of yourself when you're dealing with crypto. And ultimately, in conclusion, DeFi is offering an alternative to existing financial infrastructure, and it isn't reliant on for-profit infrastructures. It's reliant on the community of people, and it's being transparently built instead of for financial applications that are being governed by users. And the future is bright for DeFi, more accessible financial services for everyone, for those who would not normally be able to have a bank account or trade stocks. And blockchain technology can potentially revolutionize the entire web, but it's still a developing field with a relatively high barrier to entry.